everyone, and thank you all for joining in. And I really appreciate everyone taking the time to be on this conference call this morning. And the only thing I ask is, there's a lot of people on this conference call this morning. And if you have a question or a comment, try to be brief with your comments. Don't go on for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes with your comments, out of respect for other people that might have a question. And, there's been a lot of great things going on in the state of Minnesota. And I'm sure a lot of you have been witnessing this on Facebook or on the radio, the news. So I just really appreciate what everybody's doing in their communities, especially. That's where it's all happening right now. And I think this is great that we can get together like this. It's just great to see so many different faces. For me, especially, how I haven't seen a lot of you for quite a while now. And I just have a few comments here, and then I'm going to turn it over. I think Mike's going to say a few words next. And I made the appointments for the training committee, and I sent that out to everybody. And of course, mylegion.org is a critical committee. And I want them to get going on that as soon as possible. There's no reason to wait on that. And as what I recommended to the 3 people on that committee is that they reach out to all the districts and find 2 people in each district that's qualified on mylegion.org. The department, mylegion.org subcommittee, will direct that training. Some of the PowerPoints have already been created, and they've been given to each member of that committee to look over. So we want to have that out on the website as soon as possible. But I think the districts have to take responsibility to help train their posts. That is so critical. Right now, we're under 50% in the state of Minnesota using mylegion.org. And that's totally unacceptable because it is such a tool. And I know a lot of people are hesitant to learn, but once you learn, I think you're going to be so happy. It's going to save you a lot of time. You can process membership online through mylegion.org. Nothing has to be sent to department, and you just got to get your posts informed and trained on this. Or if the person, there's some posts where we in the 3rd district, we have a 90-year-old individual that's still processing membership, and an 80, the person that just turned 80 that's processing membership at another post. They love their job. But would they use mylegion.org? I don't know. But would they find a younger veteran that could help them with that? I think they would be able to do that with the encouragement of the district leadership. Enough said on that. And we do have people from these committees online, and hopefully they'll be able to update us on mylegion.org and Legion College, which is very important. And that's been tentatively scheduled for, I believe, mid-October. But I know Denise is on the line here. And if she could comment on that a little bit later, I would appreciate that. And then, like Tim mentioned earlier, Legion Baseball is canceled, but I don't want anything going out on Legion Baseball until that press release is out there. Because there was some bad press in North Carolina and some bad press in North Dakota about Legion Baseball and rumors. We don't want any rumors. We have to stay united on this because there's a lot of, I'm not going to say hard feelings out there, but very strong feelings today on that conference call that we had this morning with the committee. So I'd appreciate it if nothing goes out until that press release is out there. So I think that's all I want to say. I think it's more important that we get through our comments here and open it up for questions. So with that, Mike, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, Commander.
Do you have any comments?
I'll be real brief. I just want to thank everybody for all the support that you've given the department over these trying weeks. It's been challenging, and we're going to come out of this a whole lot better, and we're going to be doing business a whole lot differently than we have in the past. I can see us saving some money by not paying mileage, hotel rooms, and so forth. And I think this is a way to do business going forward. So for the ad hoc committee that's ramrodding this, thank you, and keep up the good work. And now it's just a matter of the training that needs to go forward. is pretty much all I have to say right now, and I'll answer questions as they pop up. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Membership Director Sy, are you out there someplace?
He is.
I'm here.
The internet or whatever we have here, the satellite connection is yours.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Commander. Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to say a couple things here quick on a membership. You know, we've been pushing all year long, getting those 1982s, ADs transferred. There's plenty of them out there that we need to get into our posts. And I know Linda and her crew and Dick and have all have done an amazing job putting that mylegion.org together. So make sure you find that person in your district, or make sure you have somebody in your district that can handle that and go through that and teach your folks in your district how to utilize that. And real quick before I forget, this probably isn't my realm here, but consolidated post reports, get them worked on. There's no reason why we can't be at 100% for our commander this year. That's another simple project that you can do online as well. It's not a whole lot of paperwork involved there. It can be done online. If you have a post that's having difficulty with that, especially if you're in the district, give that post a call, help them fill that form out and get it sent in. You don't, if the post decides, we've had some posts in the first district that do not like to do that. Well, we force them to do it anyway because we make the phone call. So we just got to make that happen. It's so important to get those forms in. Other than that, for the coming year, Mike, have we come up with Commander, we come up with how we're going to do, since we have 47 people on here, how we're going to do packet pickup this year? Is there a schedule for that, or is that still on the back burner yet? Waiting to figure that one out.
Mike, can you comment
we have
on
it
that?
scheduled. We have it scheduled for the end of June. I believe it's the last Thursday and Friday of June.
25,
How we're going to do it? What's
June
that?
25 and 26.
Yep, there you go. Thank you. How we're going to go forward with that, we're just waiting to find out what the governor's going to do. Hopefully this week we'll have some better guidance, and we'll make that decision, and we'll get it out.
Okay, that's all I was looking for. So I knew the days they were. I just wasn't sure how we were going to do it those 2 days. You know, so I guess if we're going to wait for the governor, then that's fine and dandy. So other than that, I'm not gonna rattle on here either. I guess it's more important if people have questions. So I'm turning it back to whoever.
Okay, thanks, Sy. Now, Teresa or Jennifer, if you guys want to just take over right now. And
Commander, do you want to have your education committees? You said you wanted them to touch base. Do you want to have them do that now so we can then go into the training and the Q&A? So
good idea.
Okay.
Denise, would you want to start for Legion College, please?
I will. Thank you, Commander. As you know, of our spring meetings, we did pass a resolution for a Legion Training Committee. It consists of 2 subcommittees, one for mylegion.org, which is committee is comprised of Linda DeVork, Tim Haugen, and Joe Bear. For the Legion College, it is Paul Edwards, Jennifer Havlick, Kelly Adelsman, myself, and Mike Ash. We met last Thursday. We made great progress. As you know, we had to reschedule our Legion College, which will be the 16th through the 18th of October at Camp Ripley. I believe the lease has been signed for that. There will be an article in the Legionnaire as well as on the website, and it will be distributed to the district Facebooks as well, with the new deadlines and information. Those that have already have applied previously, those will be kept on file and they will be considered at that time. We're also working on, since we are not able to gather at this time, we're working on doing some sessions via Zoom webinar, and we're hoping to start that probably the 1st or 2nd week of June in conjunction with, I think we're going to start out with mylegion.org training first, We're having one on CPR, one on the history of the Legion, and let me see what the other one is. Oh, we're hoping to have Jeremy Wolfsteller on to talk about what's available for our veterans and their families in this time of need. And also on publication. Anyone have any questions?
If you have questions, please raise your hand. Commander, I think you're clear.
Okay, thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. Linda, would you please talk a little bit about mylegion.org and what you've accomplished so far?
Give me a second, I gotta find her. There's 2 pages to look for. Where'd she go? You know what? I'm just gonna unmute everybody so everybody be quiet.
Myself. There.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I have gone through and I have made checklists and slide presentations for all of the reports in mylegion.org on the post level and the district level. So I am going to plan to get those out to the department and get them on the website. And then starting that, hopefully that second week of June, we will start with the reports so that people can find the 1982s and 1982 ADs and get those letters or whatever out to those people. And I will do one session on the district level and one session at the post level. And then we will also do one for the CPR and how to process membership online. All of that's already done. I've just got to get it out to the website. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Hey, Bill Bartnick, are you on the line?
He's not gonna know how to unmute himself.
He was going to check in with us. Hey, Peggy, are you there? Peggy Moon?
Hold on, Mark, I gotta unmute them. They're all muted.
Okay.
Okay, everybody's unmuted, so.
Okay,
Hey,
I'm
Peggy,
on.
are you there?
I'm on.
Okay.
Peggy, did you want to add anything, any comments or anything?
All I want to say is that I am very proud of all the work that you are doing. I had the chance to work with Jennifer earlier this week and put her in connection with the person that handles TFAs in Indianapolis. I understand she has talked to her, and hopefully, Jennifer, you've learned everything that you need to know. I think it's really important, especially for those of us on the national level, that we get you connected to the people that can help you the most. So I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of the work that you're doing getting masks out. I can personally tell you, at the Veterans Home in Minneapolis, one of the people that came down with COPD is the wife of my cousin. She is doing okay. She's in quarantine at home. But she was a physical therapist at the Veterans Home. So, you know, it's affecting all of us. So I just want to tell you all, thank you. Thank you for the help you can do. And if I can help anybody, please let me know. Thank you very much, Commander.
Thank you, Peggy, for that. All right, with that, I think we're good to go, Teresa and Jennifer. However you guys want to narrate this, I would appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Jennifer's gonna go ahead and mute everybody after I'm done talking. She's gonna mute me as well. Jennifer will go into the training, and then afterwards we will open it up for questions, suggestions, ideas, concerns. I'm gonna say one thing, do not ever change the password on this Zoom account. Jennifer will reiterate it. And if you have questions, raise your hand. Even if it's in the middle of what Jennifer's doing, I will monitor that while she's training and we can get to your question right away. She will then unmute the phone people so that everybody can have questions. Jennifer, it's all yours.
Okay, well, most of you who I can see clearly have a handle on Zoom. And Sai, I know your camera's broken, so for the people who are on the phone, you can do this on your iPhone with an app. And if you want to get with me later and so that you can be on video, great. The goal here, the first thing we did was we sent out a message to all the district commanders to get a hold of our iPads that we gave out long ago, charge them up and add the Zoom app. Most of them, as far as I know, have done that. We're having some extra issues with the district who shall remain nameless. And so once you add the Zoom app to your district iPad, the district commander or the district adjutant were both sent passwords for your iPad. Here's a little hint. If you're in the 8th district, the iPad security number would be 888. It's relative to your district number. So yeah, we try to keep it very uncomplicated. Then when you get in it, you can download the Zoom app, and what you use is the iCloud account that went out with this invitation, the iCloud sign-on and password. If you're confused or where to find that, give me a call later and we'll get you signed on to the iCloud. You should make sure that your iPad has all the updates it needs to have and that it's fully charged. Events like this tend to suck the energy out of a device. So if you're going to have a decent meeting and without interruption and without glitches, you probably want to try to keep your iPad plugged into a power source and keep it steady. Make sure that you're as close as you can be to your Wi-Fi. So your Wi-Fi is connected adequately, because you want to be able to do that. And if you're not, it'll pause, you'll get stuck and stuff like that. Your Zoom account for the districts is the same sign-on it is for your iCloud, with the exception of the 5th district. And we're working on that. Hold on. Once you get all that done and you sign on to the iCloud account on your iPad, or if you're a district commander or an adjutant or whoever they choose to give that information out to hold a meeting, you can do it on your phone, you can do it on your iPad, you can do it on your desktop, you can do it on your laptop, whichever device you choose to use. And there's a way to download Zoom meetings, iCloud meetings on all those devices. If you have a problem, everybody will get my phone number and you can call me. I've worked with a few people to get it done. Don't underestimate your ability to do this, because once you do it and get it done, it's just about scheduling a meeting or joining a meeting. So, and Zoom has made it really easy. Sorry. You'll all notice when you came on here earlier, or now in the chat box, there's a survey for Legion College. We have 3 questions we'd like you all to answer, so that we have an idea and maybe narrow down a little more of what we're going to provide. And that all come to me, and so we'll know, what your thoughts are as far as those questions are concerned. And then, of course, if you had more additional information or questions, you could email any one of the education committee, I'm sure, and we'll be meeting frequently between now and October to get things done. If you have a device and the camera isn't working, like your laptop or your desktop, honestly, your best bet is, I'm not going to take it off, but I have a Logitech webcam. Not real expensive, but it covers video and sound. You can plug it into your PCs or your Apple laptop, and it'll recognize it, and it'll give you an option to have your camera on for these events. And then if you don't want it on, you just unplug it from the USB port, put it aside, and you don't have to worry about any mischief of any kind. I keep mine plugged in all the time. Let me think. The other thing we were talking about too is, if you're going to have a meeting, always have an agenda. The person who is hosting the meeting doesn't have to necessarily be on before you. I made it this one so everybody could sign on before I did. So there was 5 or 6 people who were already on. Or you can say, I don't want anybody signing on to this meeting until the host gets there. And then once the host gets there, people can get on. A pro Zoom account You can have meetings holding up to 100 participants for up to 24 hours. And again, I will say, I don't know who would want to meet for 24 hours in a row. Karen, I see you. What's your question? Go ahead.
I had a Zoom meeting with my post. Well, I attempted Tuesday, and I didn't know anything about this waiting room. So they went to the waiting room, and then I pulled 2 of them out there, but then one went into the waiting room and I couldn't get to him.
Okay. So when you, in your Zoom account, when you go to your settings and you go down the list of settings, one of those buttons says waiting room. If you have it clicked, you have a waiting room. If you unclick it, you won't have a waiting room and people will come right in. And Karen, if you need more help, I can walk you through that. So you can have up to 100 participants with the Pro Zoom account that Cy was generous to give us out of his membership money for this year. And you, again, you don't want to meet for 24 hours. You know, I've done all since March, we've done lots of buddy check meetings. And about 2 hours is all my keister can handle. So try to get to your point and, you know, get out. There's a lot of other options on this Zoom. You can do polls on this. If you look down at the bottom of your screen where it says security, participants, polls, chat, all those things, try those things out. Just get together with 3 or 4 people, put up a meeting and try things out. I'll give you a real quick example of how to share. What? Come on now. Okay, there we go. So I can share what I'm seeing, but we'll share what you don't want to see. So at this point, you should all be seeing something other than everybody else, right? Nod your heads if that's true. Yes, okay. So let's get rid of that. And then, so you could, I don't know, hoo-ha, hold on a minute. There we go. So you can show something that if you want to show a document, a flyer, or do that's part of the webinar process. You can show people, you can show videos if like, let's say Linda does one of these and she wants to show a My Legion video, she can put it up there and do that. You can show documents, anything you want pretty much, but please use some discretion. All the other things I would just tell you is to go down, have a meeting with people you trust, and just play with your tools, because you can do all kinds of things like raise your hand up in the corner of my screen. You'll see my hand is raised, or I can do thumbs up. Brad's got his hand up. Go ahead, Bradley. Hold on, let me unmute you. Oh, there you go. Go ahead, Brad.
And the thing is, on the screen share, anybody that's on the conference can share stuff from their computer.
If the hosts allows everyone to share. You know, there's pluses and minuses to that, obviously. You don't want everybody sharing all over each other, because then you'll never get to your point. So you might want to, Zoom suggests that when you do something like that, those participants are predetermined and you give them the ability to share what their material is. Am I missing anybody's question? Anybody got a question about Zoom? I don't see anybody.
Check some of the phone people once, Jennifer.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to unmute everybody. Okay, does anybody who is on the telephone have a question?
I'm okay.
It doesn't look like anybody on the phone has a question. Awesome. Mute everybody. Okay. Oh, wait, Richard Skillstead. Richard, do you have a question? Richard, do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. All righty, so we will I'll mute everybody and give Teresa time to say whatever she wants to jump out and say. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm doing really good. With this training and with the resources that have been sent to you at your district, share that with everybody. This is, as I've said before, and the members of the committee and Jennifer's heard me say this 100 times. You've been given a key to the kingdom. Now, if you don't make copies of that key and share it, nobody's going to come to the kingdom to visit you. So you have to share this information. Your posts need to be able to meet with you. Get your vice commanders, get your committee members using this and holding meetings and working with their posts. This is a golden opportunity to reach out to people in a completely different format that people don't have to leave, that can't leave. I know some seniors out there that are homebound that they use this stuff, this format and these computers as their form of communication. And they're great resources to help with membership. So that's all I have, Jen.
Okay, so the one other thing that got into my head when Teresa was talking about giving out your stuff, please be careful who you give your sign out to. Now, if you're a district commander and you want to hold a training session via Zoom for your posts and they go, this is awesome, I'd like to try one meeting, and you want to help them do that and you trust to give your password out and your sign on, that's entirely up to you. But let me tell you how difficult it is to fix if they mess it up. It's near impossible. So please be mindful of who you give it to. If you give it to somebody, a post or whatever, write down who you give it to and their contact phone number, so that if something happens, I can go back to them and say, okay, well, accidentally, what did you do? So that I can dig us out of whatever happened. Does that make sense to everybody? You know, in a perfect world, the districts would meet with all their posts. I don't know any district that's got 100 posts, right? Am I wrong, Mark? No?
You have to unmute him.
I know, I'm going. We don't have any posts with 100 any districts with 100 posts in it, do we?
You know, I'd have to check here real quick and give you an answer on that, but
Brad, go ahead while the commander's looking it up.
Second district has the most at 84.
Okay, so we're good. So basically your pro accounts for all the districts, if the top amount of posts is District 2 and they have 81, you could have one representative on from each post. And even if this COVID goes away and you want to have a district thing and all your posts meet at their post and each post zooms into a meeting with Brad, everybody gets the information and it doesn't get stuck at the adjutant or whatever. So that's an option for you to do that. Also to host a meeting for a post if they can't do it or are confused. So.
And remember, when you give out this login and password, it is critical. You tell them, do not change anything. If they have trouble, they can call you, they can call us. Do not change anything.
I know it sounds like we're saying that ad nauseum, but we've probably spent the last 8 weeks attempting to make corrections.
One district.
Who, you know, I don't know how it happened. I'm sure it was an accident, but we're trying to dig them out of that mess. And with an iPad, it's not that easy. So please call me. I don't care when you need to call me. Well, I do. When I'm sleeping, don't call me. But
all right, Jen, you want to unmute everybody, and we will go to questions and answers.
Yep.
All right. Here's the thing. If you are on the video and you can see us, raise your hand. Or if you are on the phone, say, hi, this is Richard Steelstead. I have a question. Stop, and we will stop everybody so Richard can talk. So Brad was up. Go, Brad.
Is there a keyboard attachment we can get for these iPads or not?
Yes, you could get a case with a keyboard. You have to find out who's echoing.
Betty, go ahead.
I have a cover for my iPad. And it also has a keyboard in it with it. It's one of those heavy duty protection devices. You can get them through Verizon. They cost about $100.
Okay, you can also get those on Amazon, Brad.
Yeah, you order them from Amazon. I just happen to get mine from Verizon.
Yeah.
Does anybody on the phones have a question?
Steve Sunstrom, do you have a question?
Here's the thing, guys. A lot of times, and you know, right now I'm speaking to some of the choir, and I see a couple faces that are not part of the choir, but usually we're talking to the choir. And here's the thing: a lot of times, national and department put out training things and resources that can be used, and they don't get used. This is an opportunity that is huge. So please don't disregard this. Please don't put this on a shelf and let it collect dust. Please utilize this in your district. You can do it once the COVID stuff goes away, because I'm sure moving forward at department, we will be having, I may be Commander, correct me, Mike Maxa, correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here, but I'm pretty sure we will be having live meetings in person with a computer with the Zoom going at the same time. Am I out of line, Mike and Mark, Commander?
No, you're not.
Can't flip my camera.
So please don't put this on a shelf and let it collect dust. Please get this out to your districts. Please get it out and work with your posts, because in the 4th district, we have posts that have already purchased this to be utilized at their post. And and Randy Olson can attest that they're doing things in that district that are bringing in members. And so please don't let this sit on a shelf. Jennifer?
On the chat section, I put my home phone number if you have questions or concerns. Paul, I just clicked on the survey and it worked for me. Any other questions, concerns?
Betty? Go ahead, Betty.
Hi, when you're talking about that some of the posts have purchased this, what is the cost to the post?
It's 20, depends on which package they buy. They can buy the $20 a month package, the $16 a month package. It depends on the package they choose to buy.
Let me just say this. When we purchased these for each district, it was about $162 for 1 year of Zoom Pro. Really cheap.
For each district or all of them?
Betty,
Yes.
as a department officer, the department has a Zoom account. You can meet with your chaplains in the districts.
That would be great. Is that just something I was thinking about? Yep. Yeah, I'm game for this. I think this Zoom is just an awesome product. And I've actually had an opportunity to use it for a couple other things that are not part of the American Legion, things that are involved in, and this is just an awesome product.
We could conceivably, between now and Memorial Day, have a Zoom Memorial Day group invite, if that's what you want to do. I mean, I can host it, or one of the, any one of the district accounts could host it. So, if that's something you all wanted to do. Linda, go ahead.
Hi. He, the commander mentioned that he would like to see each district have a couple people, 2 or 3 people, depending on the size of your district, that are going to take active participation in training My Legion. I would like to get those names of those people that you are suggesting, and you could send them either to me or Tim Haugen or Joe Bear. We're all the mylegion.org committee. And then we will get with them to actually do more specific training so that they can train the rest of the district.
Perfect. Karen?
You mentioned Memorial Day, and I've already started planning our virtual Memorial Day with the school, with their video tech guy here in Bertha. He's going to do all that for us, but we're limiting it. Like, we're not going to have the firing squad, and there's only going to be like 6 Legion members. But the school is going to put it online for us on their website and YouTube. So, and I'm going to advertise it in the newspaper.
Randy?
We would like for Memorial Day to memorialize all the veterans that we lost during this COVID-19 in a highlighted format. So if we do it for department, anybody statewide that we lost, we could recognize them at that time.
Teresa. I want to say this. I've done a few interviews, and let me warn you that the press desperately wants who's sharing something.
Mark Maloney is.
Oh, I just got,
Yeah, Mark, thank you. That's a really good example of how you have to have a handle on that. I've done a few interviews, and some of the
example how anybody can share it.
Right. I've done interviews with larger press organizations, and right now their underlying question is, have we had suicides of veterans or Legion members as a result of this COVID shutdown? Do not take that bait. Do not take that bait. We focus on eliminating veteran suicide as a whole. Are we doing extra things to ensure the mental health of our Legionnaires and our auxiliaries and our SALs during this trying time? We absolutely are. Do not get into the numbers with them. Trust me. National doesn't want us getting into the numbers with that. Just don't. We are focused on doing these Zooms. We do buddy checks. We look out for each other. We volunteer. Don't, because they all want to make it the headline.
Brad, I see you. To caveat on that, everybody, when the media comes out, and there's a lot of things going on, I know Brad and Richard Skillstead, I think you wanted to say something. If you have, I don't know how to say this, not everybody's comfortable in front of a camera. Not everybody's comfortable on stage or public speaking or with a microphone in front of them. So if you're not comfortable, and it's okay to say no to an interview.
Or refer them to Tim.
Or to refer them to department, because it's better to be on the safe side than to say something that they can take and really blow up, because that has happened and we don't want that to happen. Hence North Dakota, other states where it's happened. We don't want that to happen. If you're not comfortable, and I know everybody likes their 15 minutes of fame, but if you're not comfortable, please refer them to Tim at department. Brad, shoot. Unmute Brad, Jennifer.
Just bouncing off of Jennifer's thing on don't take the bait. We all know with everything going on, the media thrives on fear and paranoia.
Yeah. True.
Richard Skillstead, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, yes, I do. I'm getting a lot of feedback. If the speaker speaks, let him or her speak. No other chatter behind him.
Well, that brings me to this. Remember, if you're walking around with your device, if your cat or dog is in the background or anything, these Zoom microphones pick up everything, yawning, chewing, any of that stuff. And if you do that, you overstep the person who's attempting to speak.
That includes squeaking chairs and putting down your coffee cup next to your PC, all these things that I can see happening. And thanks, Paul. Thanks, Paul.
It's a brave new world, everybody.
It is. But we're really excited, and part of this, everybody logging on, was so that everybody could go through and see the resources and be able to log on, because now you need to send it out to your districts and you need to train your districts. This is a train the trainer. Commanders, adjutants, vice commanders, whoever we have on here for the districts, please, please, please train your districts. Use this in your districts. Betty?
Do you have a copy of some of this information already in like a file so that you could send it out to us so we can send it out to other people?
It was sent out to you already when you got the invite.
Okay, that's actually the same thing. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you.
And so your committees can use this too. You can host committees, you know, every committee can use this. This is not a post, just post. This can be used for any sort of reason. So with that,
any Legion family business.
okay, appropriate Legion family business.
Thank you.
Yeah, keyword appropriate. Yeah.
Uh-huh. You know, I am sure that you all know and understand that, but it's always best to say it right out loud.
Oh no, Brad again.
He's grabbing his hand. Is this appropriate?
Yes.
Betty?
Brad, I thought I stole that from you.
I need that for my ride on the bike.
Yeah.
So if everybody that is able to log on, if they look down, they see the chat is flashing yellow. There's information on there. And Jennifer has sent out a link, and Tim Engstrom has sent out a link. And if you see that name, you know, remember that name, especially with all this that we have going on. Embed the name Tim Engstrom into your memory, because if you get a call from the media, he's the person you send him to.
We should unmute him and let him speak.
Yeah, why don't you try that? Try that and see how that works.
Where is he? He was here.
Tim?
Do you want me to talk about dealing with the media?
You talk about anything you want, brother.
Well, Wisconsin just canceled baseball as well, and that is out for public consumption now. But just the Wisconsin one. As for how to use Zoom, there's a lot of cool bells and whistles you can do. You can change your background. You can chat with each other on the side. Greg, Colby, and I were talking a little bit on the side through the chat function. I guess you guys have covered a lot of the functions, and so if anybody needs individual help, you're more than welcome to reach me about using Zoom. It's also available for your Android. I use it on my Android and my laptop. So it depends on where I feel like having the conference.
I have a question.
Okay.
The one thing I don't think has been covered yet is there's a record thing on the bottom. If I were to press that record, what is that going to record? I mean, is it going to record everything that's going on, but where is it going to park it?
This particular recording is going to be parked on my hard drive. You can put it to iCloud if you wish. Either way.
Well, that's my question is, why do I see the record button and also the start video button, but I see that you have a line through the start video? But
I don't have a line through it. You have a line through it.
Ah, okay. So
you'd have to go to that video and click the button, and then we would see you.
That would be your video feed.
Oh, because I don't have a camera. That's why you don't see me.
There you go.
Okay, but
you record this, Ann. Yes, you could record this, and it would save to your either wherever you wanted to save it, your computer, your iCloud, your hard drive, wherever you wanted to save it. But everybody on here could record this for their own purposes.
Okay, I think that's answering my question about the record. That's actually my record button that I'm looking at.
Correct.
As a host, you can also keep people from recording if that's what you want. Bob Lockhart.
Yes, if you hit the record though, it comes up and says the host needs to approve this.
Okay.
I've sat here and hit it. I mean, over
Yeah.
and over.
You
So-
can't hit it in here because I've already hit it.
Right. So
Whose
unless-
phone is ringing in the background, people?
Mine.
One thing I wanted to say was, you're right, Bob, that on most of the meetings, the host allows you to record. On this particular
Yeah,
one,
here.
Jennifer has barred it. But the thing I want to say is that this is going to be useful for even after the pandemic restrictions are over. So that way, say, you got a veteran who has kids and she's cooking supper, or maybe she's tired from the commute all day and doesn't feel like driving, but there's a post meeting that night. She's going to attend maybe over Zoom rather than driving over to the post. So that would be great if after this is all done, we still use Zoom in lots of ways to allow people to attend functions, meetings, conferences, rallies.
Okay, Brad had his hand up.
Okay, I'm using and those two links that you have in the 2 links you have in the chat, I'm using my computer and I cannot click on them or copy and paste them.
You can't copy and paste them. You can click on it to go to the survey. I will
That
also be I'll also be sending it out to the group. I will also be sending it out via email to the group that we have, like the district commanders and stuff.
Okay, because I cannot click on the links either on my computer.
I can't either, Jennifer.
Same issue.
I can't either.
I see the link and it's
Deny.
properly formatted for an IPS, but it's not that non-clickable.
All right, hold on.
I noticed that too. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
Everybody just remain calm.
Hey,
This is the
don't
first
wanna
time we've
remain-
tried this combination, so,
If I was any calmer, I'd be snoring.
okay, somebody try that one.
Nope.
Ho, ho, ho.
Jennifer, just send it out in an email, in a mass email thing along with Tim.
Yeah, I'll do that too, but I was kind of hoping it worked here. Betty?
If you
Well,
click
I
on
would
it,
like to tell Teresa and Jennifer, thank you very much for all your hard work of putting this together. I know it's consumed a lot of time, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, the hard work now really begins because we're really hoping that you guys all utilize this and it doesn't sit on a shelf. If anybody has any other questions, anything else, we can take those. Otherwise, we will send it back to the commander to close us out.
So no other Legion questions or,
I'm sorry, Commander. Roger Stokey has a question.
okay?
So I have a question. Is this being recorded now so that we could take and show, like Commander Tom from the 10th District isn't on today, and if this is recorded, I could have him come to the house and he could watch it again, or he could watch it for the first time, so that he can pick up the information on this, which
Yeah,
gone.
yes, it is, Roger, and I'll make it available to everybody.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, Mark, Commander.
I was there thinking too, like we're sitting saying, we can use this after this pandemic. And I think this can answer a lot of questions for all the people that sit there saying that they don't have time to make a meeting. So I think that could help with our recruitment too.
Yep, good thing. Randy Olson, do you have something?
Yeah, This tool is a great tool for membership, and as with mylegion.org having all the answers for the 1982 AD, the members that have not signed up as members renewed since 2015. Once we get that information, you can see how, like, me as district membership can get to every one of my district post membership directors and allow them to obtain that information and let them, while they're even during this period of being home, they can actually call them and try bringing them back into their post. So use your tools that you have. Ask Linda for help and the other person I'm speaking with. But you want to use those tools as much as you can, because right now is a top priority. We can get all these members renewed and put into posts that don't belong anywhere. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Betty's,
Okay, Commander, I
Betty's,
think you're clear.
Betty's hands up.
Betty?
Yes, I've been contacted by a couple posts a little while back, and this really needs to be referred maybe to the district commanders to follow up on. But there are some posts who are not doing their prayer during their meeting. So we need to keep in mind, you know, our preamble says for God and country. So we need to still take that half a minute or a minute, whatever it takes, to say a quick prayer, just asking for Lord's guidance, you know, as we are going through things, for success of your meetings, you know, for people's good health and recovery. And so this is just something I want to, you know, pass out as a reminder to everybody. This is also part of our core values for American Legion.
I would love to say maybe the department chaplain go on the department Facebook page and put maybe a morning prayer up or an evening prayer up so that everybody on the department Facebook page can see it. We can add you as an editor, so it'll be right on the main section of the page.
That sounds great.
She doesn't
have to do a prayer now.
Yep. All right.
It's up to Mark.
Wade Larson had a question.
Somebody's
Okay,
got
Wade Larson.
Yeah. As far as membership, is everyone in the district still doing the transfer forms and sending in to department? Or is there an electronic form we can come up with to possibly do that and enter on our email to send to Misty? Or what kind of ways can we come up with to do membership in a little bit different fashion? Since from my understanding, she might be coming in once a week, or what other things from our department are we doing by mail that we can do differently? Or
I think we should let Linda answer that question.
Well, is Mike still on the line?
Sounds like Mike Maxa. We need Mike.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
I'm
think
still.
Mike should answer that.
It's a
Yep, I'm here.
Mike, could you answer
To
that,
answer your
please?
question, the simplest and quickest and best way is to use mylegion.org.
to do
You need some
1982
help.
transfers?
Okay.
Yes.
You can do that too. Or what you can do, if you send out the letter, you can scan that letter in and email it to me, and I'll do the transfers. I've been doing a number of them for the 3rd district, and I just did one for the Hugo Post. They sent me a copy of the member data transfer form or the letter via email. I'll see that. Plus, if we do any transfers, we need to maintain that letter or the member data transfer form for 1 year. So email it to me and we'll take care of it.
Well, I have a question for Mike. Bob Locker. Mike, I know the general talk was that we were going to do everything this coming year by mylegion.org. But we know that I don't feel that's not going to happen because getting some of these posts. So, you know, is there anything being put forward that at your handout you're going to make statements like that?
Well, the department's moving to mylegion.org. what we're doing is
Okay.
getting rid of the program AIM that
Okay,
we have
all
to
right.
pay
All right.
for every month.
Okay.
So mylegion.org is a free tool, and the department's moving to mylegion.org exclusively. So that's
okay.
where we're going to get all our reports and our reporting from going
All right,
forward
okay.
the 1st of July.
And once we get this training out and about mylegion.org for the posts, and Mike and I talked about sometimes there's a delay getting a sign on. Now the emails go directly to him so he can approve them more quickly up to national, so that posts can get their sign on and password taken care of in less time than it used to. Randy.
One of the things I was going to ask, and so that since everybody is on here, one of our most time-consuming efforts that is taking the most time at all is to get every post authorization sheet filled out with the commander and the adjutant's email address, phone number, contacts, whatever. If that would be something that, since we're all going to mylegion.org, if that's something that the department commander, Linda, and the staff from mylegion.org can facilitate, where we can send those all out, even if it's one mass email, that each post can lock on, get that authorization sheet sent back with the information needed. We can, as a district, can do better training and go out and start training immediately with each one of these posts, so we're not delayed on waiting for send them off to today, wait for the department to accept it, or the mylegion.org and at national okaying it, sending it back to national, or department sending it back to the post. If that's a step that we can take to make our training and our members more active on mylegion.org, that's just something I'm asking if that can happen to help us.
I have to go. I need to get that baseball thing done. The 1 hour for their baseball thing is over, and I got to go do that. So everyone,
Thanks, Tim.
take care.
Bye, Tim.
All right.
Bye, Tim.
Bye.
What's your comments on that, Mike?
Yeah, everything can be done electronically. You send it in, the request and the authorization has to start with the post, goes to national. The national emails me. I approve it normally right on the spot, kick it back to national, and it should be electronically sent back to the post. So I don't see any issues.
Right. And
So
may I add to that? The issue is what I'm going to try to explain why there's an issue is that right now, if I go to one post and pick that post out, I help them fill out that authorization form, and then I can't come back to them till they have that back from national, from, the whole sequence you just mentioned. Is
Hey,
there
Randy,
something that we can?
Randy,
Yeah,
can I
go ahead.
just say a comment here? The
Yes.
district has to take responsibility for that. They need to go out to their posts and have their posts request this. And if the districts don't do it, because it's got to come from the posts, and if the district doesn't create some kind of email or a letter to each post, the post has to do it. So the district has to monitor this for the post, if that's the initiative of the district. And if the post doesn't want to do it, you can't force them to do it. I don't believe. I could be wrong there, but I don't think you can force a post to do it. But you got to get the post on board with this and then pursue it at the district level. That's my opinion on that.
And as far as the training goes, you can do training utilizing the district MyLegion or using your home post to do training to get them familiar with it. And once they get the authorization back, then you start setting them up for the post. So the training shouldn't be an issue. There's other avenues to use.
I think, Mike, really what he's asking, maybe I'm wrong, is from the time the individuals puts in the request and it goes to national, then to you, and then back to the post, about how long does that take?
I have that. That question is into national right now. From your email that you sent me yesterday, I sent that up to national, and I'm waiting for a response.
Okay.
you know, maybe at our level, I can talk to Mike about this a little bit and see if there's some way, and I agree with Randy, it takes too long to get approval on this stuff, and we need to fine tune that. And maybe we can talk about that and get back to everybody on that.
And that's in National's hands right now on the time, how long it takes from the start to the finish. And that's what I'm waiting, hopefully get the response on Monday.
Okay.
Randy?
On that situation, that's exactly what I'm talking about. What I want to fine tune is, I want to take it as a district and run with it, but I want to know that I have the permission from department. But what the first step is can we, on our new membership year, when it starts July 1, can we put out a new form? If they haven't already signed up mylegion.org, can we send out an email to every adjutant or commander with that access form and ask them to return it so that they can have the process quicker so that we can go out and train?
Oh, I see what you're saying, Randy. So you're saying that you want the forms to go out ahead of time,
Yes.
everybody. Okay, that makes sense. So then as a district membership director, then I'm not a district membership director, but if I was, I would take on and I would make copies, or I'd get it online and I would send it out to each one of my district's posts, to the commander, to the adjutant, to the membership director, and say, fill this out, make a decision who's going to do this, and get it back to me within 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, however you want to do it. And then you can compile it. You can send it up the chain then, and then you can work it down. That's how I would do it, because because we cannot make department the fall guy and throw department under the bus because department has to do everything. No, department doesn't. I had a meeting yesterday and I had a phone call after that meeting where somebody got mad because my post is failing and I don't trust department because department didn't step in and do anything. Well, at some point, you at the district, you at the post have to help yourself. We are here to help you, but you have to help us help you.
Brad.
So that's what I would do.
Brad.
Questions for Mike on those authorization forms like that. If we get the post to fill them out, can we scan them and do it all electronic? Was that part of your question to National?
Yes. Well, no, you can do that. I mean, you can do that now. If you get that form filled out, scan it in, email it to me, and I can forward it to National and say, I approve this. And that should speed up the process right there.
Exactly. That's one of the things, because if we can do get them to scan it, send it, right now the post mails it in or faxes it in, and I'm personally being responsible to take every post form and actually faxing it myself so I know it gets sent in. But that would speed up everything.
Yep, there you go.
I just have one comment on that real quick here. I like Randy's proactive suggestions here.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe all districts could look at a way to do this for mylegion.org, to reach out to their posts, find somebody, and like Teresa was talking to, that will take responsibility for it, and then get those forms in and get them access. And then Randy and other districts won't be wasting their time when they go out to the post to try to help with mylegion.org. So I like that a lot.
Yes.
Can I suggest, Cy is still on here somewhere, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I would suggest that through your email list as membership director, you send out an email to your district membership people, or the district commanders and adjutants, with the form attached to it. So, and a request to say, we would love and encourage everyone to each post to complete this form and get it back to whoever you all decide to get it back to. So it goes out from the membership director down through the membership directors, and it'll go back up that way because it's a membership deal. Now the sign-on is okayed by your post commander and adjutant, but once they get it, they can share it. Don't tell National I said that. They don't like that. But you can you can still use it to do that. At the district level, don't worry about it. We can get into the district, but we can't change any of your post stuff. We can't change your membership. All we can do is generate lists. So if that came down from Cy in a giant email with the attachment necessary to print out and send back, that might put some weight behind it.
Yes.
And I hope when you said that, Jennifer, when you say weight behind, I hope you're talking about the office and not my personal weight.
I think all our personal weights are a bit up right now given this coronavirus, but no, I was speaking to the importance of the department level.
Okay.
And if we're going to do something like this, I think we ought to make sure that we get it through the department vice commanders. There's a lot going on that we're not getting. But I definitely think we should move like this, but we need it. The other thing on these meetings, when anything major is being determined, not just discussed, but I think we're going to have to follow up with emails, identifying those things for those people that are not getting in these meetings, that they can now start digging to find out who should I, who should I talk about this to get up to speed.
We're going to make this video shareable so everybody will be able to watch it. But yes, I'll go through and take some notes and,
Note, I think notes, just major notes people are going to have to start to get having almost a secretary for these meetings, because there are people that are asking questions and, well, I didn't hear that.
I'll write it down.
Well, what we're looking at is, and as far as what the ad hoc committee does, this ad hoc, I can't speak for anybody else, but we go through the vice commanders. We have done it for when we're going into the districts. We never go into a district without including the vice commander. As far as the training in these type of videos, we're in the process of putting together a frequently asked questions, so that when you get this information and you log on, because we're going to have all this information hopefully on the department website, there'll be a frequently asked questions. So if I can't log on, what do I do? Or if I can't turn my computer on, what do I do? I mean, there's all these different things. So we're going to be doing that.
Yeah. Are you saying that you're going to be part of all meetings from the department? Is that what?
Nope.
Some of us would more than be willing to volunteer to be on those meetings if people had questions, Bob, if that's
right. If people have questions, we can do that. I thought you meant, are we going to be hosting them? No, we won't be hosting them. But if the committee, we saw you, Randy, but if the committee would like to have one of us on there, we can be on there. Does that help, Bob?
Oh, no. Hey, I luckily, luckily I was going out the door and I said, what? A meeting? Oh.
It went out via the adjutant 2 or 3 weeks ago for this to all of the DEC. All right, Randy.
I only have one last thing, and that's what Bob just brought up. When somebody gets into the department vice commander position, they're taking care of 2 districts, and we're going to have to kind of reinvent the communication wheel to us from our departments. Like, say an example, 2nd, 7th vice commander. Sometimes we hear with training that it comes down from department, might come from somebody jumps the gun and goes national department down to district. We find out when the post should be going from the post to the district and then to the department, then the national. And you brought that up before in other meetings, but we have to have participation with that department, 2nd and 7th vice in my case, but in other districts, I'm just saying it as a whole, so that they're included in the whole scheme of how our communication should travel.
And all that will be taught at Legion College during, or even before that, during a communications education Zoom event.
Right.
This is
Well-
go ahead, Bob.
Well, Legion College is just going to be a very small amount of people. So that, I don't take that for an answer.
Well, this is a volunteer organization, and all information that gets pushed out through the department DEC, and every member of the DEC was requested to be on this meeting. Again, it's a volunteer organization. You can't make anything mandatory.
We're working on it.
We are working on it, and we're working on the communication, but we can't force anybody to do anything.
Right.
Yeah, I just have one comment on that too. Emails that have gone out that I know the people have gotten it, they will call me or whatever and say they never knew about that or they didn't get anything on it. And I go back to my email and I look, and sure enough, they got the email. So that does happen through no fault of anybody. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but it's happened to me. It's happened to other people, you know, because we are communicating with these emails with Zoom now. So we have to be respectful of that too, that some people maybe aren't reading all their emails. And I think, you know, I had communication with Dan Ludwig this past week and he was guilty of it too. Yeah. He gets 30, 40, 50 emails and he just scans them. And that happens.
And 20 of them might be Jennifer Havlick.
No.
I'm not being
but Bob, if I'm sending you too many emails, I can certainly remove you from the list.
Her face is logged on the front of my phone, and it doesn't come off because it's Messenger. Well, I'm just saying that there's a lot more to this to get our communication together. I'm not trying to criticize anybody. It's just that we really, because what we're really saying is we want to get to where people down at the post, just veterans, are seeing all this data. But
the thing about it is, Bob, is now it's the responsibility of the department vice commanders to reach out to their districts and work with their districts.
Absolutely.
And
that's
so
what we all want to do.
Right, and we push this, but we, you know, nobody. You're doing it. I'm doing it, but you can't. I don't know what anybody else is doing. So the communication is coming to you from department, and it's your job to push it down.
Okay.
Here's a helpful hint. When you send out an email, put on the bottom of it, please let me know that you've received this email. If they don't send you one back, approach them or call them again. Maybe they missed it. Maybe it misfired. There are a myriad of reasons, and that will help you at least know that they didn't receive it because they didn't read it. Does that make sense to everybody? Brad.
There is sometimes on the emails, for some stupid reason, I find them in my spam folder.
Right. Sometimes if there are multiple names on an email and a bulk email, it may shift to your spam folder. So what you should do is put the people, your fellow DEC members, in your contact list so that they won't be pushed out into a junk mail you don't see.
You know, can I just say one more thing on this, and I think we should move on. But, you know, this information that goes out to the adjutants in each district, I think they have a distribution set up for all their posts. They're the ones that really have to get that information out to all the posts when it comes down from myself, for the vice commander. I think that's where the miscommunication comes in a lot. The adjutant isn't sending it out to all the posts. You know, just, you know, maybe they are, I don't know. But maybe more emphasis, you know, from the district adjutant to make sure they're sending information out when they get it.
Okay, any new subject questions? Then I think it's time for Betty to say a prayer and pray us right out of this meeting.
Amen.
She's on mute.
Hold on, Betty, hold on. You didn't unmute yourself. Okay, start now.
Okay. Everybody just bow your head. Dear Lord, we pray for your protection as we're going through this coronavirus. Keep everyone safe. We thank you for allowing us to have a fruitful meeting as we ask for guidance, as we learn and discuss all the new things we are doing in the American Legion. Protect all of our military members, veterans, and families, and those who are ill from any cause. We ask this, O Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Commander, do you have anything to close with? Commander, do you have anything you want to close with?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for attending this conference.
Thanks,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Bye. Bye.
Let's see.
Yep.
Is it start off when you?
Oh, there it is. I didn't see.
Some people thought they closed it off.
Volume button's on the back.
Hey, dude. Hey, I sent a note to you.